Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for week 48 over on the Mission Inspiration Facebook group, and this week the prompt is abundance, which is rather appropriate seeing as our American cousins have just had Thanksgiving last week. So embrace the overflowing blessings in your life, both seen and unseen. Like a river that never runs dry, abundance flows when gratitude opens the way. Navigate with a mindset of plenty, sharing and receiving with an open heart. Celebrate the richness around you, where every moment offers gifts of growth, love, and endless possibility. There we go. So abundance. Abundance, plenty, being grateful for what you've got. So that's kind of what my takeaway for this is. And I kind of love the graphic for this week. It's kind of, I love the kind of grunginess behind it, and I like the circles showing lots of different kind of elements. So I thought I'm going to try and recreate this. I don't normally recreate the images on the prompt sheets, but this week I think I'm going to try. So I'm going to be doing it on this side. So this goes in my journal. I've already got week 48. When it goes in, it's in a traveler's notebooky kind of style. So it's just the way it falls, that it's the one sheet is number 41 or week 41. Right, so first of all then, I'm going to do what I usually do. I've already cut a piece of craft cardstock. That's going to be my frame piece. And then I have a piece of mixed media white cardstock, which is what I'm going to be working on top of. And then I'm going to glue it to the craft card. So that's going to become the frame that goes around what I'm going to be creating. So I don't need any of this lot. That was week 41, masks, if you remember. Do you remember that one? Love it. So that can go out of the way. So what I've done is I've printed a larger version of the graphic so that I've got something to reference on here. And I've already punched out a sheet of cardstock with some different sized circles. Now I don't have a mask or a stencil that just has circular holes. So I've just created my own out of a piece of the same cardstock that I've got here. So what I want to do is I want to try and recreate kind of this grungy, messy background that we've got here. So what I need to do is to get some water, grab a brush like so, and then I've got some paints here that I'm going to have a look through. These are all matte paints. These are all my indigo blue matte paints. I'm going to pull out some blue colours, like that one, and then that one there for like the creamy colour. And then we've got some brownie tones, and then some real dark grungy brownie tones. And then we've kind of got some, that's a metallic, that shouldn't be in there. So postbox red for the reds, and maybe an orange burning bonfire for these. And then we can kind of mix and match and work together on building a background. Right, let me go grab some water and I'll be right back. All right, have water, have brush, have paper, have paint. So I'm just going to grab some of this cream first of all, clotted cream, and then some of the blue, which is Sing Blues. Ooh, that's a bit thick, isn't it? I may need some baby wipes as well for this. I'll just move that to one side. And then I'm going to start with the blue. I'm going to go straight down onto the paper. I'm not going to gesso because it's mixed media cardstock. I don't really think I'm going to need to gesso. In fact, I can add just a tad of water just to make it go a little bit further. Just on that surface. In fact, let's just mix up a bit first. I'm going to do it kind of abstract-y, grungy, dark and moody. I'm making sure that I've got all the white kind of covered. in the middle where I want it. And then we'll create some darker areas down towards the bottom. Right, I'll just clean off that brush with a blue. Did have some kitchen roll somewhere, there we go. Then I'm going to come in with that clotted cream straight away. I don't mind if it mixes, because it's just creating a new, different tone. Each time, grab a bit of paint. I want it kind of painterly, so you can see kind of the way the brush strokes have been. Grungy, messy, dirty-ish. Okay, now I'll bring in some of that brown, that light brown. So this is warm tan. I'll just take it straight from the lid, and then up to the edges. And then I'm going to turn it round. A little bit there, up the edge. Just break it in. Okay, so I'll turn that around, and now I'm going to bring in just a little bit of that darker brown. Keep the oranges and the reds for a bit later, and then darker brown just up there. I'm just using vertical brush strokes. And just a few horizontal ones, then bringing it in so you can see the brush strokes in there. Just kind of like grungy and dirtying it up a little bit, so a little bit in the middle as well, and then down here towards the bottom. Just like so. All right, let's put, actually I've got a little bit of blue on my finger there now, so I'm just going to just use it up. There we go. Just create a little bit of dirt and a little bit of grunge. Okay, so I'll just get this cleaned up. Like so. I'll baby wipe somewhere. Alright, let me just have a quick tidy and clean up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my template, I've got my paper, so I'm going to come in with a piece of sponge. I've got some white gesso. What I want to do now is I'm just going to obliterate a little bit of that colour from the background, because I want to add some red over the top, and I don't want the red to react to what's underneath. So I'll take that, and then I'm going to take the smaller circle, do that one, do that one, and then this one here. This is just giving a little bit of a base coat, an undercoat if you like. Same one again. And then I'm going to do the smaller one here. Pick up a little bit more paint. Like that. And then maybe another smaller one here. And maybe one up there as well. Okay, so now we've got that. Give it a quick blast with the heat gun. That should be dry enough now. And now I've got another piece of sponge, clean piece of sponge this time, and I'm going to bring in that red and the orange, and I'm going to mix just a little bit of those colours together, and then come back in with that stencil. So there's that one, and then just move the lids out of the way a little bit. This one, and I don't mind if they're not exactly perfect or in the right bang on same position, or even if you can see a little bit of the white showing through. That's not a deal breaker for me. And then we'll do the smaller ones. Start down here. A little bit more orange, I think, in that one. And then flip that around. Here we go. All right, so we've now got that kind of grungy background. So I'll just have a quick tidy up with all the paint, dry this lot off, and then we'll be back to add some highlights and some lowlights. Okay, so now I'm just going to come back in with that same stencil. This time I've got the sponge that I used with the white gesso. I'm just going to take just some of that brown and just bring it down here towards the bottom, just to kind of give it a little bit of a 3D shadow. I'm going to try and just keep it in the same position on each one. Like so, and then flip it around, do the smaller one. Remembering it's that bottom corner, and then on the smaller ones, again, just a little bit on that bottom corner. Just creates a little bit of extra kind of visual interest. That'll do. I don't want to go mad. So you can see we've got a little bit more kind of realism in that now. And what I could do is when I get to adding some of the other grungy detail to it, is I can come back in with a white Posca pen and add some white highlights towards the top, just to kind of finish that off, which I probably will do. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is to add some scratchy lines to it. So I've got my Uniball pen. So now I want to do some kind of scribbly lines. And then just a scribbly kind of little border. And then we'll grab some white gesso. And we'll just use the same kind of brush that we used earlier. This is watered down white gesso that I use for splattering. Another baby wipe. It's surprising, I've said this many times about adding splatters, it just kind of lifts things from the background, just kind of adds that kind of extra dimension. And again, if you've got lids that you want to use, you can also come in with some paint. Maybe add in a few broken kind of circles just in that background as well. But I'm not kind of touching the main orangey kind of circles that we've already done. Quick clean up. Nobody said this was a tidy job. Okay, so I'll have a quick blast with the heat gun with that, and then I'll come back in with that white Posca pen. Right, so while I was kind of drying that, I thought to myself, no, actually, I'm not going to use the Posca pens. I'm going to carry on using the paints. So let's bring out the template again. So this time I'm going to add a little bit of white gesso, just like I did with the brown, just around the top, just to kind of give it that little bit of additional 3D kind of effect, just to give it that little bit of a highlight. And as you can see, it's really kind of effective. And you don't need a huge amount to give it that kind of 3D effect. A bit too far on that one. There we go. So just have to be careful. Should I turn that stencil around so I've got more white? I go too mad. In fact, I might just cover. No, I can't, can I? A little bit more paint. That's it, just on the edge. I just want to grab it on the edge. So I'm starting on the white paper, and then just as soon as I see that it's touching the colour, I'm pulling away again. There we go. How's that? Eh? Like that, like it a lot. Right, so somewhere amongst all this rubbish on my desk, it may look tidy from where you're sitting, but from where I am, it's an absolute mess. Right. So I've got my little quote. So when I was reading the prompt, and it was all talking about, like I say, abundance and being grateful for what you have and all that kind of stuff. I was kind of reminded, he says, just running to the other side of the room, I was kind of reminded of a Sheryl Crow song, Soak Up the Sun. And there's a line in that song, which I think was kind of perfect for this. So this is a couple of lines from Soak Up the Sun by Sheryl Crow. One of my all-time favourite artists, by the way. So I'm just going to quickly go around the edges with the Distress ink. So it's not having what you want. It's wanting what you've got, which I think kind of fits with what we're trying to achieve today. So a little bit of glue on the back of that. Let's put that across the top there. I can't remember whether I've ever used that line previously in an art journal page. Sheryl Crow is a real rich source of very good quotes and song lyrics for art journal pages. Excellent, I like that. Right, so what did I do with my a bit of paper? Right, my very important paper. So let's flip that around. I'll use a bit of heavier glue for this because it is. Oh, see, this is what happens when you tidy up. Never ever tidy up because you never know where you've put anything. Here we go, grab and go. Heavier duty glue. Always clean your nozzle. You can't go wrong if you've got a clean nozzle. There we go. And because we've got a little bit of wiggle room before this grabs, then we can just see how the frame now just kind of disappears into the background. But it is framed. Right, so we just need to put something heavy on that, heavy on that, heavy on that, and heavy on that. And then I'll be back in a little while. All right, so now it's stuck to its backing. I can flip it over and stick it into my journal. Again, wipe the nozzle before putting it away. And then it's ready when you need it again. There we go. So there is my art journal page for week 47, abundance. Because it's not having what you want, it's wanting what you've got. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art journal page this week. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. On the screen there is the URL of the Mission Inspiration Facebook group where we do the weekly, where we have been doing the weekly art challenge prompts this year. It will be going back to monthly next year. So if you want to join us next year for more art prompts and art challenges, then please pop across. There will be a clickable link underneath the video that you can just click on and go over to Facebook and ask to join. And then you'll be all ready and set for January. So that's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.